Admiral Kate Morrison stood on the bridge of the United Human Colony's diplomatic vessel, Aurora, her gaze fixed on the empty starfields beyond the transparent view screen. The silence of deep space surrounded them, broken only by the quiet hum of the ship's systems and the occasional murmur from her crew. They had been waiting for 6 hours now, and the Zephyrian delegation was uncharacteristically late. "Any sign of them, Captain Blake?" Kate asked, her voice steady despite the tension that had settled over the bridge. Captain Ryan Blake shook his head, his eyes not leaving the sensor display. "Nothing yet, Admiral. Our long-range scanners are clear. If they're coming, they're taking their time about it." "They'll come," said Dr. Lisa Parker, the ship's xenobiologist and cultural attaché. She stood to Kate's right, datapad in hand, her expression thoughtful. "The Zephyrians value punctuality, but they value making an entrance even more. They'll want us anxious before they arrive." Kate nodded. Lisa was the foremost human expert on Zephyrian psychology, and Kate trusted her judgment. The Zephyrians were a proud, warrior species, rulers of dozens of worlds for centuries. This meeting was humanity's last attempt at diplomacy, before what many believed was an inevitable conflict. In the past century, humanity had expanded beyond Earth, establishing colonies across 5 star systems. It was a remarkable achievement for a species that had only discovered faster-than-light travel 200 years earlier. But their rapid expansion had brought them to the attention of the Zephyrian Empire, who viewed the growing human presence as an intrusion into territory they considered rightfully theirs. Their demands were simple: abandon all colonies beyond Earth within 72 hours, or face annihilation. Kate's mission was equally simple, if seemingly impossible: negotiate peace, or at least buy time. "We've received a priority message from Earth Command," announced the communications officer. "General Rodriguez sends his regards and reminds you that the Aurora is the only shield between the Zephyrians and the civilian mining stations in Sector 9. Kate's jaw tightened, as if she needed reminding of what was at stake. Beyond the Aurora lay not just empty space, but the scattered, vulnerable outposts of human civilization: mining stations, research facilities, and civilian transport ships. If diplomacy failed, these would be the first targets. "Remind the General that I'm fully aware of our position," Kate replied. "And tell him the Zephyrians haven't arrived yet." "Admiral," Ryan said suddenly, his voice dropping to a whisper as he approached. "Do you really believe we can negotiate with them? Everything we know about the Zephyrians suggests they respect strength above all else. We're showing up with a diplomatic vessel against an empire that's conquered a dozen species." Kate met his gaze steadily. "What we know about the Zephyrians is that they've never encountered humans before. Captain, let's not assume how this will play out." Before Ryan could respond, the sensor officer called out, "Multiple hyperspace signatures detected. Large vessels dropping into normal space. Bearing 040. Kate straightened her uniform. "Showtime, on screen." The view screen shifted, and Kate felt her breath catch. 3 massive Zephyrian command vessels had appeared, surrounded by at least 50 smaller escort ships. Each command vessel was the size of a small moon, bristling with weapons and covered in the distinctive scarred metal that marked Zephyrian warships. "Incoming transmission," the communications officer announced. "Accept," Kate said, her voice calm. The screen flickered, and a massive figure appeared. War Marshal Vextel was everything the intelligence reports had described: nearly 8 feet tall, with 4 muscular arms and scaled skin covered in ritual scarification. His eyes, yellow with vertical pupils, seemed to look through Kate rather than at her. "Human vessel," Vextel's voice rumbled, the ship's translators working overtime to keep up with the complex Zephyrian language. "You have been granted the honor of an audience with the High Council. Your surrender will be accepted in person, as befits a species making its last diplomatic entreaty before extinction." Kate kept her expression neutral. "War Marshal Vextel, We accept your invitation to meet. However, we come not to surrender, but to discuss terms that might benefit both our peoples." A sound that might have been laughter came from Vextol. "There are no terms, human. There is only the deadline. But come, bring your advisors. We will explain the proper procedure for your species' capitulation." The screen went dark. "Well," said Lisa quietly, "that went about as expected." Ryan's hand moved instinctively toward his sidearm. "Admiral, this is clearly a trap. They could take us hostage or worse." "If they wanted us dead, Captain, they would have opened fire already," Kate replied. "Prepare the shuttle. You and Dr. Parker will accompany me to the Zephyrian flagship." As they made their way to the shuttle bay, Kate tapped a concealed communicator in her uniform collar. "Morrison to Earth Command. The Zephyrians have arrived. We're proceeding to their flagship for negotiations. If we don't return within 6 hours, implement Protocol Prometheus." "Understood, Admiral," came the reply. "May your ancestors watch over you." An ancient blessing, Kate thought. How appropriate. The shuttle journey to the Zephyrian flagship was brief, but tense. As they approached, Kate couldn't help but be impressed by the sheer scale of the vessel. Named the Highblade, according to their intelligence, it was a masterpiece of alien engineering, all sharp angles and reinforced armor, designed not just for function, but to intimidate. They docked in a cavernous bay filled with Zephyrian warriors, each standing at rigid attention. A delegation met them at the airlock, led by a female Zephyrian with slightly less ornate armor than her companions. "I am Sub-Commander Leth," she announced. "You will follow me to the High Council. Do not speak unless spoken to. Do not make sudden movements. Your weapons have been scanned and noted. Draw them, and you die." They were led through corridors designed for beings larger than humans, making Kate feel uncomfortably small. The walls were decorated with what appeared to be the skulls and armor pieces of conquered species, a museum of victories. "Charming decor," Ryan muttered under his breath. "War trophies," Lisa whispered back. "Each represents a species they've defeated or subjugated. Notice there are no human remains yet." "Yet being the operative word," Ryan replied. The throne room of the High Council was vast and dimly lit, dominated by a raised dais where 7 Zephyrians sat on ornate metal chairs. At the center, War Marshal Vextol lounged with deliberate casualness, all 4 arms spread wide in a display of dominance. "The humans," Leth announced before stepping back. Vextol leaned forward, yellow eyes narrowing. "So these are the insects who believe they can colonize star systems at will. You are smaller than I expected." Kate stepped forward, ignoring the warning hisses from the guards. "War Marshal, the United Human Colonies appreciates this opportunity for dialogue. We believe there has been a misunderstanding regarding our territorial claims." "There is no misunderstanding," Vextol replied. "You have settled worlds that lie within the sphere of Zephyrian influence. This is not permitted." "The worlds we've colonized were uninhabited," Kate countered. "Our surveys showed no signs of Zephyrian presence or claim markers." Vextol made a dismissive gesture with one of his lower arms. "All worlds within 1,000 light-years of the Empire are ours by right of future conquest. Your ignorance of this fact does not excuse your trespass." Kate felt Ryan tense beside her and subtly placed a restraining hand on his arm. This was going exactly as expected, but they needed to play their part perfectly.